Shalom, and you're now locked in here at Israelite Talk TV, where you get nothing but the raw and the real whenever I'm in front of the camera. So make sure y'all show the page some love, like, subscribe, and share. Shalom and greetings, and welcome back to another episode here at Israelite Talk TV, where you get the full 100 whenever I'm in front of the camera at no paid media points. Now, family, you see the title. That's right. We're going to be talking about the FBG Duck case in the O Block 5 and the paperwork that's got the internet in a frenzy right now. The O Block 5 called me. They reached out to me. They say, hey, Big Light, we got a lot of bloggers out here that's meeting riding FBG, and they're painting these false narratives. Will you take the case? So I looked at the paperwork, went through everything, and I said, you know what? I will take this case. You know what I mean? It disturbs me how this is why you got to sit back and you got to watch and pay attention to these bloggers and the things that's coming out of their mouths. It's crazy how you have all of these people that say they're from the streets. You know what I'm saying? They've been through this. They've been through this jail system. They've done this and they've done that. And then you sit down and you listen to their blogs on, what's going on. And then you read the information, and then you sit back and you're like, well, what are they looking at? What are they reading? Where are they coming up with these talking points that they're coming with? Like, for an example, they're saying, oh, the O Block 5 is done and this and that and all this information and woo, woo, woo. And then they just gone out of there. You know what I'm saying? But as I looked at the paperwork tells a whole different story. You know what I'm saying? The paperwork shows you how discombobulated that this case is that the government have. It's a whole bunch of stuff that's jumbled in. We got people that's reading the information. They're like, well, what about this? This ain't got nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? So I want to break all this stuff down and give it to y'all. And I'm finna explain to you how the O Block 5 or 6 or 7 now are going to beat this case, right? This federal case. The federal case is weak, right? So the first thing we want to do, and before I break this down, right, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, share this video, right? Bloggers are going to want to hear this video. The people in these neighborhoods are going to want to hear this information, right? Because it's going to help them with their case and beating their case. We got all of these paid talking points. People that's not even in the city talking and giving you all this information and don't be knowing half of what's going on. And then most of these people cannot read and comprehend what they're reading. Okay. So let's break this down. Now, and let me also say this, right? You know what? I'm going to save my thoughts on this FBG Duck case to the end of this video. So if y'all want to hear that, just skip to the end, and I'm gonna give it to you, right? But the first thing that we got to do and break down is, why is the federal government even involved in this case, right? Okay, now people get killed in the city every day, right? You know what I'm saying? What separates duck murder from any other murder that's going on in the city? Okay. The first thing that we got to do, okay, and I'm gonna post some of these things up here on the screen, some of the paperwork, so you can see it. But we're gonna go through this, right? And I'm gonna break this down line on line, precept on precept, so people can understand what's going on here, right? The first thing that we have to address is this criminal enterprise thing. So the whole reason why the feds is involved in this case, because people are saying, well, why did it take the feds so long to get involved? It's because this type of stuff is not within the federal jurisdiction. This is not in their jurisdiction. You know what I'm saying? The feds don't typically pick up murder cases, right? The only time you really see the feds picking up murder cases if, you have like racketeering charges, what they're charged with right now, RICO charges. If it's a situation where, they actually have the gun in the murder case, and the person may be convicted felons and things like that, different elements like that, then the feds would pick those type of cases up. But regular murder cases, the state deals with that. You know what I'm saying? If that was the case, all the murder cases that everybody is locked up for in Cook County Jail would all be federal cases. Okay. So it don't work like that. So what happened is, in the first part of this thing, right, the document, right, on page number 3, right, let me slow y'all down and break all this stuff down. O Block is an enterprise as defined in Title 18 United States Code Section 1959. So the first thing, when we start to deal with these cooperators, this person said this, they're going to testify this. When LBG Duck got killed, it was just a regular murder case. You know what I'm saying? So what happened is you had people that began to run to the feds and give them this information. This is why the feds picked the case up and charged them and charged them with racketeering charges and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And conspiracy to commit murder and stuff like that. Because outside of that, it would be just a regular murder case. Okay. So the feds is involved because you have people running to the feds and telling them, well, no, it was money on duck head, wooty, all this other stuff. And this is how it became federal, right? But the thing that's so crazy about this whole entire case is that this RICO racketeering charges that they got the O Block guys charged with, it's a crazy indictment. And this is nothing more than the federal government chasing this stuff because, you know, they want to try to get to Dirk and all of these people that sit at the top. You know what I'm saying? But at any rate, the government already know, right, what's going on here and what they're doing and why they're releasing this paperwork and doing this. This is when all else fails, they do this, they drop these bombs so that the internet can talk about all of this stuff that's going on because they don't have the evidence. What you guys got to understand with this entire case is that all of this stuff is based on he say, she say. Okay. The government does not have evidence where they were watching O Block because they're trying to tell us in this document that O Block is a criminal enterprise. If O Block is a criminal enterprise, then that means that all these other blocks, STL, and all of these other streets that people claim are criminal enterprises. You can't just say, well, O Block is a criminal enterprise and all of these people they're beefing with are not criminal enterprises. None of these people have been indicted on any type of RICO, racketeering charges, and none of this stuff tied to those street names that people are claiming. So the whole thing about it is the government whole thing is they're trying to say that O Block is a criminal organization, right? And they're basically basing this off these people that came and gave them statements. This does not come from, do you guys now, y'all, this is probably what I'll be talking about. You got all these bloggers, and this is how you know these dudes be paid media, right? They sit here and they work Young Thug case to the bone, and then they get over here with the O Block 5, and now they got they Ray Charles glasses on. They act like they don't know the law and stuff now. When you look at the Young Thug case, what do they tell you? We've been watching them since 2014. They were involved in this. The government does not have that same testimony with the O Block 5 now. There's no investigation where they were watching them and they got this O Block criminal enterprise, all these people. Like, they don't even have any leaders. Like who, like right now, Young Thug is sitting in jail. They're saying he's a co-founder of the YSL. You know, him and whatchamacallit. So you have the founder and then you got everybody else. And typically how this works in this realm of criminal activity is that they typically have the leaders there, right? And then they get everybody else to say, well, we know they're the leaders of this and that. We'll give y'all time because if y'all say wooty wooty woo. But in this case, they don't have that. None of this stuff that you know what I'm saying, that the government do, they don't have it in this case. All of this stuff is he say, she say, he say, she say. You know what I'm saying? So it don't make any sense. So they go on to tell us, right? And we're going to go through some of this, right? And we're going to chop this up, right? They're telling us, right, that O Block, right, and this is how we gotta bust this thing down, right? They're telling us that O Block is a criminal enterprise, right? They tell us that let me just read some of this stuff, man, so we can just get it straight how it is. O Block is a street gang and a criminal enterprise situated in Parkway Gardens on the south side of Chicago. O Block is a faction of the larger Black Disciple street gang. Parkway Gardens is, okay, let me skip through some of that. It said, let me see, O Block members and Black Disciples from neighboring allied factions describe Parkway Gardens as a fortress and headquarters. The setup makes it difficult for opposing gang members to ambush O Block. And it says, and this is on page 4 of the indictment, if you got it. It says, at times, material to the allegations of superseding indictment, O Block had meetings where O Block business was discussed, including acts of violence committed against O Block members and violence to be committed against O Block rivals. For example, Cooperator 1, right? A black disciple initiated through the Newtown faction, but who lived in Parkway Gardens approximately 2006 or 2007 to 2011, and continued to be active as a black disciple while living in Parkway Gardens, may testify at trial. If Cooperator is called to testify at trial, the government expects that Cooperator 1 would testify that while he lived in Parkway Gardens, O Block members, O Block was called Wick City at the time, would have weekly, bi-weekly meetings with $20 dues that were paid each meeting. Okay, so let's just stop right here. So they're trying to tell us. Now remember, they're basically coming before the judge and saying that O Block is a criminal enterprise, and this is the reason why it's a criminal enterprise, and they're breaking down what these witnesses is telling them why it's a criminal enterprise. But here's the problem, right? They tell us that from 2006, whoever this witness is, right, 2006 or 2007 moved into O Block, right? Now what you guys got to understand is that O Block did not start to become O Block till after OD got killed in 2011. So from 2006 all the way to 2011, it was not called O Block. So now if they're telling us that prior to it being O Block, it was called Wick City, then the thing that we have to ask ourselves is who's running this criminal enterprise? It ain't showing no King Von and all, because at this time you figure King Von was what? King Von was born in what, 94? So you talking 94, 2004, 2014, he was 20 when KI died. So if we go back to 2011, okay, that means he would have been 17 years old. So are they saying that Von was running this criminal enterprise? So who's running the criminal enterprise at this time? You know what I'm saying? From when it went from Wick City, that who are the ringleaders of this so-called criminal enterprise? It don't make sense. You see what I'm saying? Then it goes on to say, right, that and this is on page 4. It says at times material to the allegations in the superseding indictment, O Block had meetings where O Block business was discussed, including acts of violence committed against O Block members and violence to be committed against O Block rivals. For example, Cooperator 1, a black disciple. Okay, I already read that already. So they say there was dues and all of this stuff was being paid. They say Muwak was collecting the money. So if Muwak them is collecting the money, who are they taking the money to? Where's all these people at, and why ain't they locked up? It does not make sense. When we jump down here on page 5 of the indictment, it says that Cooperator 2 will testify that at times material to the superseding indictment, the leaders of O Block were Boss Top, known to enforcement as individual A, Duke known to law enforcement as individual B, BJ known to law enforcement as individual C, and defendant Charles Liggett and Davon Bennett, King Von, when he was alive. So they're telling us that these are the leaders of O Block. Now remind you, they said that it was Wick City, then it went. So you're telling me that from all of this time, from the time that it crossed over from Wick City to O Block, that Boss Top, King Von, and all these people were the head of this organization and running all this stuff. It don't make sense. The timelines don't add up. You know what I'm saying? Just do the math. It don't. Listen. It says, Cooperator 2, a current O Block member, may also testify at trial. If called to testify at trial, the government expects that Cooperator 2 will testify that he moved in Parkway Gardens in the late 2000s and became an O Block member approximately 2007. So in 2007, O Block did not even exist because O.D. Perry hadn't even died yet. So if this is a criminal enterprise, who's running the enterprise? You know what I'm saying? Now this right here, when I get the D thing, is going to destroy this whole thing right here, right? You know what I'm saying? Because none of this stuff is adding up. You got these bloggers that's just taking this and running with it. Oh, woo, woo, woo. Okay. But we got to break this thing down though, right? Now, it says that, let me get here to, let's jump on over here to, let's get over here to page 8, right? It says Cooperator 3 was also present for and witnessed the murder of his sister, Jakar Barnes, by O-Block member Davon Bennett in STF territory on April 14th, 2014. Okay. Cooperator 3 was also shot by Bennett during the incident. Cooperator 3 was able to escape and saw Johnson waiting for him at the end of the alley he was about to run through. So instead, Cooperator 3 was able to wait until Bennett and Johnson left before leaving. Cooperator 3 observed Bennett stand over Barnes and shoot her multiple times. Witness 1, who may also testify at trial, also observed this murder. Witness 1 later saw Bennett come back to the neighborhood after the murder and state in a threatening manner that Bennett was from O-Block. So family, so right here, right? And it says, so the thing that you got to pay attention to, they keep saying if they're called. There's no guarantee that these people are going to come to court and testify and take that stand. Okay, that right there is one thing to tell the police, but to go and take the stand, people, I really don't see people really endangering their lives like they people lives like that. Now, the women that's involved in it that was there, most likely they will, but some of these other guys, and because a lot of these dudes are now on YouTube. Now they're saying that this Cooperator 3 is possibly Butter, right? And it's you know what I'm saying? But let me break this down and explain to you how crazy this stuff is, right? There's a couple things that's going on here. Either Butter, this is Butter, and he did cooperate and tell the police this, you know what I'm saying? Or number 2, Butter and Swiper lied when they was explaining and saying that this was going on. Because what I want to do is let me roll the clip real quick for FG Butter, the interview that he did on Cap Capone, and I want you guys to listen to what he's saying, right? And then we're gonna come back and keep going. Okay, let's go ahead and roll that clip.
I did an interview with this guy from O-Block named Jay Hood, and he talked about King Von being responsible for K.I.'s death. And even in his response, he said, "Ask Butter, he know."
Man, what I know is, on my dead, Von didn't kill Kai. Period. And I ain't saying that because Von didn't kill Kai. I got shot too. I was right there. I got shot too. I saw the motherfucker who popped us. He did. On 1st grade. And there was some grown niggas in A-Ski on 1st grade. V-Roy ain't had shit to do with that shit, folks. That shit a facade, but you gotta think about it though.
So you guys just got done listening to the audio FBG Butter, the one that he did with Cam Capone, right? And he clearly came out his mouth and said that he was there. He placed himself on the scene, right? And this is how crazy this is if he did snitch and if this is him, right? Because if you told the police that Von did this and he stood over him and did all this stuff, but then you came out on a Cam Capone interview and said that Von had nothing to do with it, you got to know that's going to be evidence in court. Just like they take rap videos and songs and lyrics and all this stuff and use it in court, this is evidence too. So if this is Butter, then it ain't going it's not going to hold up in court, because how they going to call him to testify and how's his word going to be? You know what I'm saying? This is why this stuff is so crazy when you see these people talking about these cases online and they're involved in these crimes, because the stuff that they're saying can also be used against them. You know what I'm saying? So if LBG Butter is saying that he did it, and then now he did a Cam Capone interview and said Von had nothing to do with it, then that's not going to be credible, and that's not going to hold up in court on trial. And I know that for sure, because I was in a similar situation like that where I had caught a case, and I had one of the guys that I was messing with at that time had made like 2 or 3 different statements. Like he said one thing, and then when his parents came, he said something else. So my lawyer was like, well, wait a minute. How is it credible what he's saying? He's switching his story. He's saying this, and now he's saying that. That's not credible. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, if this is butter, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? But if it's not butter, then that means that there was somebody else that was there that got shot, and in the midst of them giving you story time, they didn't tell you who that person was. Because this person in this federal document, they're saying that the person was shot. You know what I mean? And why is all of this important? Why are they putting all this in there? Because the feds have to establish that O Block is a criminal enterprise. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to say that Vaughn put the money up. Like this whole stuff with Vaughn is crazy, right? Because what you guys got to understand is the government is saying, or whoever's coming out talking to the police is saying that Vaughn put a $50,000 bounty on Duckhead, right? Then they say up to $200,000. Now, through everything that happened, all the facts and stuff they got and everything they got, the only thing that they have that's tying Vaughn to this case is the person that's saying that, okay? And I'm getting ready to bust this thing down when I get to D-Thang, because I'm finna show you how whack this stuff is. And people just, oh, they done, they this and that. Y'all send this to their lawyers and tell them, watch the video and how I'm breaking, because I'm giving it to you. You know what I mean? So they have to establish that it's a criminal enterprise. And so they have to tie Vaughn into all of this stuff that was going on back then and there, because they saying he put the money on his head. They were doing this and that. So this is why they're going back and they adding all this stuff. But it's he say. This is not the police actively watching O Block, watching Vaughn, caught him doing this and that. Y'all got to understand, around the same time when K.I. died, it's the same year that Vaughn was fighting the case for their murder. So if the government or the state was looking for Vaughn, why didn't they charge him then and do all of this? Why would all of this stuff come out years and years later after the man gone? And you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't even make no sense. Okay. So with that being said, I don't feel that the government has enough evidence to prove that this is a criminal enterprise. You know, these racketeering charges and stuff they got on it, because we have to separate the murder, because they're trying to say that this murder is tied to a criminal enterprise. I don't think the feds can prove that. It's too many holes in this whole thing. And this right here is going to be the icing on the cake. Now, there was people, right, when they mentioned D-Thang name, right, they ran to the internet. Oh, D-Thang and Lil Durk was mentioned in the paperwork, and woo. But this goes to show you how weak this case is. What are you talking about, Big Light? It's simple. So if we jump over here to page 22 of the indictment, right? Okay. Where it talks about Ralph, right? The one that gave a drop on FBG Duck, right? Now listen to what they said right here, right? I got it, because I mean, like, this don't even make any sense, right? It says, according to, and this on page 22. Hold on. Where I want to go with this. Let's go to let's jump over to page 28, right? 28, right? It says Turpin asked someone that he was speaking to on the phone, what's D-Thang number, and went to tell the person to whom Turpin was speaking to have D-Thang call Turpin. Multiple witnesses are expected to testify that D-Thang is Dante Banks Jr., the older brother of individual E. Multiple witnesses will testify that individual E is a high-ranking black disciple, and that at times material to the superseding indictment, and was part of the black disciple factions alley with O Block. Okay, so right here, this destroys this criminal enterprise, that O Block is a criminal enterprise, because they just told us that they said Boss Top, King Von, okay, and a few other people were the leaders of O Block. These are the people that's running this criminal enterprise and this and that. But for some reason, when Ralph called the phone, made the call to get a drop on Duck, he didn't call Von. So if they're telling us that Von put the money up, Von put the 100 racks up to have Duck touched, why ain't he calling Von? It said he called D-Thang. D-Thang ain't from O Block. He's not part of, you know what I'm saying? So how are they trying to say that O Block is a criminal enterprise when the man that they're saying in their documents did not call Von? They said he called D-Thang. And then they said that he called the O Block 5 that came down there. So where is this criminal enterprise at, right? See, we got to, before we get to the murder stuff, we got to talk about the criminal enterprise. Where is it at? So you're telling me that they're saying that this Ralph Turpin, right, dropped the low, and let me say this, right? This situation right here is crazy because here you got a woman that's in the middle of this situation where this is his baby mama, but then his baby mama is messing with the ops. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all see how dangerous this stuff is? Like, this is why you never do this. Like, it's different if, you know what I'm saying, like dudes would do stuff that, yeah, you know, we beefing out here, but to be out shopping with the ops, what they like that's ludicrous, man. I wouldn't do that in a million years, man. Like Duck was loafing. Like, you, like, come on, man. Like, you don't do that, man. But the fact of the matter is that, so they're telling us out of all of the evidence that they have in this indictment that they're talking about, in this thing that people are reading, the only thing that's tying Von to is somebody saying that Von put up 50,000 and upped the bounty to 100. They don't have any calls from Von. They didn't call Von during this time period. Von is not connected to this any way, shape, or form according to what they saying. So how are they trying to say O Block is a criminal enterprise? And then they said, well, Von, so you telling me that Von paid all this money for them to go do this and that, but then he paid them in the form of change? That don't even make sense. And when I hear bloggers, oh man, you know, that it doesn't make sense. Who in a right mind gonna go out there and man, come on, man, stop the cap. You see what I'm saying? Stop the cap. So when we look at everything that the feds is laying out, Von ain't tied to this stuff nowhere. The guy that's dropping the low, did not call Von. Hey, Von, we got him down here. That 100,000 body that you got on it. Hey, we got him down here. What you want us to do? He said he called D-Thang. You say nothing about King Von on that. King Von ain't nowhere in the picture on this. This is why it took the feds so long to pick the case up, because the feds know the case is weak. They know it's weak. This is why they're releasing this paperwork, so that the internet can be in a frenzy, because they know that you got bloggers out here that are paid media, and they're going to put certain points because they have big platforms. This is why you got to share this thing. Nowhere is Von connected to this. This guy right here, who they saying made the drop, dropped his location, did not call Von. They say he called D-Thang. So if Von got 100,000 bounty on Duck Head, why he calling D-Thang for? Why he ain't say what's Von number? So this tells you that this so-called criminal enterprise, all this stuff they talking about, is all cap, man. It's cap. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you know what I mean? And then it also stated how the witness had went in and that was speaking to the police and was telling them that where is that at? But they was basically speaking about Robertson when they spoke about that the timelines didn't add up on the thing. And then there's more stuff that don't add up. So like they said that, so listen to this, right? When you go to page 30, right? It says Turpin told the caller that he and witness 2 saw Weekly inside Milani. Turpin told the caller that Turpin had people on the phone and on the way downtown while he, Weekly, and witness 2 were inside Milani boutique. So no calls to Von, none of that stuff. They called D-Thang and they called the O Block 5 is what they're saying. Right? He followed Weekly, Weekly left Milani. He followed Weekly outside and reported as much to Badass, known to law enforcement as THF member individual F. According to Turpin, Badass then told Turpin to see what kind of car Weekly was getting into. Turpin then told the caller that Turpin was standing outside of Milani when Weekly pulled off, and after walking up the street a little bit, someone began chasing Turpin down the street with a gun. So once again, the timeline is not adding up. So if at 4:18, if they're chasing Turpin down the street, then that means that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that means that they was on to them. It's just like this, like this whole case. Let me say this, family. Okay. And these are my thoughts on the case right here, right? My thoughts is that this case, from what they're saying on here, is a street case. And I think it just needs to stay in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the deal, right? You got a lot of people, and let me say this, right? You got a lot of people, right, that's taking FBG side, right? You know what I'm saying? And they doing a lot of meat riding, right? Let me say this right here, right? Duck is not an innocent party in this, in what happened. He's just as guilty as everybody else that's involved in it, okay? And the fact of the matter is, if we take what this document is saying, it's telling us that they started the beef. It's telling us that K.I. killed Odie, and this is how the war started. So how you gonna start if what they're saying is true? I don't know. I can't confirm if it's true or not. But if what they're saying is true, how in the world is K.I. gonna start this war and kill Odie, and then they get spanked on, and now they run into the police and cooperate? And I want like this stuff is madness, man. Like, I don't understand it. Let me say this, right? And this ain't no disrespect to Mama Duck, right? But our parents need to start getting in front of, you know, this type of stuff before stuff like this happen with their children. You know what I'm saying? And I understand you lost a child. You know what I'm saying? Just shit, about a couple months ago, one of my cousins was involved in a shootout. You know what I'm saying? With some guys and got, you know what I'm saying, got sent up. It happens. You know what I mean? The thing about it is this, right? I get tired of these people coming to the internet. Oh man, you know what, all this, you know what I'm saying? Like these, like their children are involved in criminal activity out here in the street. You know what I'm saying? Duck was not a college student that graduated with a 4.0 grade average. You know what I'm saying? He was not in Harvard or Duke or none of this stuff, right? He was right in the midst of that stuff, egging that stuff on. You know what I'm saying? And then he did the song Dead Bitches, which he was dissing the ops. You know what I'm saying? So how do you be involved in the middle of a war? And then it's like, you know what I'm saying? I believe that if Duck was here, if Duck could come back from the dead, he would tell y'all to sit down and leave it in the streets. Let the FBG members deal with it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, it's what it is. It's an eye for an eye. Tanakh teaches us it's an eye for an eye. So if K.I. scored and then they got dunked on, why is everybody so mad for? You know what I'm saying? From what the paperwork is saying, O Block didn't start the woe. K.I. started the woe from what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? And then it got deadly. And I don't like that. I don't like when people start stuff and then people finish it and then it's like, oh, well, this person, nah, y'all started it. You know what I'm saying? From what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? This is what the paperwork is saying, right? So at the end of the day, our parents got to do better. Stop coming out with all these sad, like, y'all let y'all children run around out here in these neighborhoods and terrorize and do all this stuff. These parents are reaping the benefits and the rewards that their children are bringing in, okay, from the streets and the things that's involved in that. So whenever something happens, this is part of the game. This is how it is in the streets. You know what I'm saying? It's an ugly game. And the game that Duck played is he was loafing. You're messing with the ops. You know what I'm saying? Baby mama, you never do that, man. You never do that. Why would you be hanging out with the ops? You messing, okay, you're knocking the ops baby mama off, right? Like, you got to remember that she still got a kid by this dude. She's going to have to deal with this dude. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it don't sound like this was a conspiracy. It sounds like the dude saw his man with his baby mama and got mad, and it was, you know what I'm saying? He made some calls. He didn't call to say, hey, Vaughn, hey, you still got that 100, you got that 100 racks still? Hey, we got Duck down here. What you want us to do? Oh, go and get him. Okay. None of that. They don't have that. All of this stuff that I think is crazy. The security guard. What security guard is gonna sit in a store and record? Like, when the last time y'all been to Walmart? You go to Walmart, when y'all go into these stores, people are doing all type of stuff. Why would a security record when you got cameras in the store that's recording already? All of that stuff sounds sketchy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, either they lying or some type of setup or something that was going on, that was in the process that was going on with that particular case. What security guard start recording for what? You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, my thoughts is that it was street wars going on. It need to stay in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just simple as that. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like the government needs to be involved in something that they have nothing to do with. And then what is the family really gonna get? If they if they find them guys guilty and they sentence them, just say they sentence them to life in the feds, right? Is Mama Duck gonna get any of the money that the feds gonna make off of them while they sitting in jail? This is why when you go into Tanakh, you don't see jails and stuff like that. It's a form of torture. This is why the Most High said, if you did this, get them up out of here. If you murder and you kill somebody, hey, send them on home. Send them back to me. You know what I'm saying? This stuff that they got going on is just as madness. This case is sloppy. You know what I'm saying? And this is why the old Block 5 keep telling y'all, we coming home. You know what I'm saying? And all they got to do, my message to them is, all they got to do is just sit in there and shut their mouth. They don't have to say nothing to them, because you're trying to say that old Block is a criminal. Who's the leaders? You said Boss Top was the leader. You said Vaughn was the leaders. None of these people was contacted when this stuff was going down with LBG Duck. You know what I'm saying? That man called Thang, so they say. And they say lines up with his phone record. So why would he call Thang if Vaughn got the 100 racks put up on the, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, fam, this is just what it is, man. That case is flimsy, man. I don't care what these bloggers talking about. I just gave it to you. If the government is saying that this man, Ralph, called, why he didn't call Vaughn, and Vaughn got the 100 rack? The only thing they got on Vaughn, and this is why they trying to mash everything together or hurry up and give it to you so you can get lost in the maze. We're not getting lost. The first the feds got to do is you got to prove that O Block is a criminal enterprise. They can't prove that. None of these people are locked up. The people that they talking about, that's the leaders, boss topic, none of these people are locked up on none of these cases. And then listen, if they're saying O Block is a criminal enterprise, what crimes do the feds actually have them on? All they have is he say, she say. If they come to court and say this and that, then, you know what I'm saying? If. Not no, we've been watching O Block for the last 5-6 years. We observed this, we observed that. They don't have none of that. All of this is based off of people that's coming forward and cooperating with them and saying this and that. I mean, it's a weak case. You know what I mean? They can't, what else? Okay, so the O Block 5, this is a criminal enterprise. Vaughn's the leader. Boss Top and all these people the leaders. What other charges and cases do they have these people on from all this time? They went all the way back to 2006, 2007, before it was O Block, it was Wick City. What evidence do they have with these guys that the government had an open investigation on and was watching? They don't have it. You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing more than these bloggers out here meat ride and trying to, you know what I'm saying? It's just what it is, fam. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the evidence. Y'all expedite this to them boys. Expedite it to their lawyers, because I don't see where the government really have the evidence to prove that O Block is a criminal enterprise. And if they can't prove that O Block is not a criminal enterprise, then that's really the strongest charge that, you know what I'm saying? The murder is not nothing. You know what I'm saying? The strongest charges is the racketeering charges. And I don't see the feds having a case for racketeering charges. You got all these moving pieces and none of this stuff is connecting. You saying Vaughn put the money up, but Vaughn, this is all they got. Vaughn put the money, it's like watching a movie. Vaughn put the money up, Vaughn disappeared, he gone. He's not involved in the movie no more else, all this other stuff going on. So now they're trying to go back and tie Vaughn into all of this stuff. It's not going to work. Now, of course, the feds can play dirty and do whatever they want to do. This is why when people say, oh, well, the feds have a conviction rate of 95%. Why y'all want to always put people to 95%? Why you ain't never put people in the 5%? They want to always put you in the 95%. Oh, they have this because people take plea bargains. This is not people going to trial and they're finding these people guilty in trial. This is the Fed saying, we got this and that. If we do this, we're going to give you 40, 50 years. All right, I'll just take the 5, 10 years. I'll take the 15 years. And they're signing. This is not them going to trial and winning every single case that goes to trial. Come on, man. And then you got these bloggers that sit up here and they pump these narratives, man. Like, get on up out of here, man. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, fam, I just gave it to you. They don't have the evidence for the criminal enterprise. Okay. Now murder, that's a whole nother discussion. But once again, the reason why the feds picked the case up is because of the racketeering charges. They don't have that. You know what I'm saying? So what they're doing, in my opinion, is when all else fails, hey, let's drop a little bait out there. And then why would they, and think about this, fam, why would they expose the witnesses that's gonna come to court and testify? Why would they throw them out? Why would they throw them out to the wolves for? Okay. Why would they throw them to the wolves like that? It's because, to me, the feds don't have a case. They're trying to line up the people that sit at the top, the people like the Dirks and stuff like that, and you know, people that really got the muscle to see what they're gonna do. Are they gonna jump on this person? Are they gonna get this person out the way? Because then they can say, well, you know what? This person killed this person, and this person did that, and it is a criminal enterprise. It is this and that. Like, why would they do that? Like, this stuff is crazy. They're releasing all of these videos, right? And I get it. Like, people watching the videos is entertaining. You know, some of the stuff is funny, but at the end of the day, it's not funny though, because why are they endangering people's lives like that? You know what I'm saying? The problem that I have with that, if y'all gonna show the videos of these people that's involved in all this rap stuff, these rap beefs and stuff like that in the county jail, show the police and the dirty tactics and the stuff that they do to us while we in jail. Why they not gonna show that? Because they don't want to get sued. They don't want lawsuits and stuff like that. So this is why I don't like that type of stuff, man. Because it's more than just, oh, this person snitching on the fight. Like y'all gotta understand that in jail, there's cameras in jail. There's nothing like, it's really like, it's not really, it ain't really telling. Like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you in jail, you got cameras in there. They see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? It's all on camera. It's all on, they see. So it's not like you getting away and, oh, well, I didn't do that. It's a whole different world in jail. Y'all got to understand that even the shot callers, and I used to be, I've run compounds. Okay. I've run compounds. You have to talk with the people that's in positions of power, and everybody that was a part of a car that's in the feds that know how this game go. You have to deal with the authorities. Whenever something happens with one of the guys, you have to go up there and talk to them. You know what I'm saying? You have to. It's no way around it. You have to deal with the authorities. You know what I'm saying? This is why all of this stuff, it's crazy, man, when you really think about it, man. That, you know, we got these people that's trying to uphold these fake street rules, and they don't even understand how this stuff go, because they ain't even never been through this stuff. But if you've been in the feds, you know, shot caller, you have to deal with them people, man. When something happen, if your guys are involved in stuff, you gotta go talk to them people. Real talk. And I know this because I was there. USP. I was on it. Listen, man, I wasn't even on the compound. I wasn't even on the compound a week, and I shut the whole compound down. You know what I'm saying? And that's word to y'all. By the time when I got to the USP, and I came out the hole, and the folks, they were like, "Hey man, what the paperwork?" Woo. I gave them my paperwork. They went through my paperwork. Hey, everything was good. 2 days later, got into my roommate, and one of the folks was on the door while me and Fan was in there. Then one of the other guys came in there, and we just, you know, we slaughter homes, you know what I'm saying? And then we was all locked up in the hole, and the folk, they had to go talk to them people. Hey man, no, my guys, woo, all that. You know what I'm saying? We got jackets, like they know, like it's in your file, like they know this person is part of this game. This person is part of this game. This person is part of this game. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the game books, like, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, a lot of these bloggers be tight. They don't be knowing what's going on. And that's why I got to set the record straight. So fam, leave y'all thoughts down below. Do the feds really have enough evidence for O-Block? They're saying O-Block is a criminal organization or enterprise. Okay, they're saying it's an enterprise. Do they have it? No, they don't. You know what I'm saying? This is why they trying to go back and tie Vaughn to this, tie this person up. But then the whole thing about it is Vaughn has nothing to do with this whole incident that happened according to the federal paperwork. They're saying that Ralph spotted him Now it's crazy. Like this stuff's so crazy, right? In my opinion, I feel like the women was involved in this some way because FBG Duck was down there with Ralph's baby mama, and then it sounds like he was down there with his new girl or whatever, shopping in clothes, and they just happen to be all in the same spot. Like it's something fishy about that. It don't even make sense, man. You know what I mean? And yeah. So he didn't call Von. He called Thang, and then he called the O Block. So where is the criminal enterprise, and where's all these leaders? Where's Boss Stop at? Where's all these people at? None of these people are locked up on the case. They didn't lock up Thang. None of these people were locked up before he passed. You know what I'm saying? So how you got only the people that's involved in this case, but you said this is a criminal enterprise, they've been doing this and that, but yet you have them charged on nothing. The feds have no prior investigation prior to the people running to them, telling them what's going on. So man, y'all let me know what y'all thoughts is, man. I'm signing off here on Israelite Talk TV. Shalom.